Perfect. Wow, we're very improvising today. What's this echo? سروران عزیزی که به برنامه Can we take the echo somewhere down? Okay, perfect. Thanks. It just really reminded of this Iranian events where you put the echo on and then you just give yourself the suspense to talk further, but like have time in between to think of, which is kind of one of my questions at you. But hi, we are starting the talk now. I just repeat that if anyone needs translation in German, there are devices somewhere. This slide is so much I don't basically see you, so it's somewhere. And yes, and at some point our lovely technicals will open the curtains so we also get the light from outside. So I also thought about your psyches a little bit. Being in black boxes not always the best thing you can do to your mind. So today the talk will take place in English and we would have lots of language to translate to each other. Yesterday the idea was that I talk with Cédric only, but now as you can see we just grew and so we're improvising. And I would also probably translate some things to Farsi in between. So to start with, and since I talked with Cédric only, I have to repeat this. I always start in this format that I ask people to introduce themselves and who they are for like 1 or 2 minutes, and then I would add something to it if I think they lack, or they missed a point into introducing themselves. So maybe we start with Cédric and then we go around.
Okay, so hello. So my name is Cédric Cherdel. Sometimes I get confused with my English, so if you don't understand, just tell me. And I work with Daniel and Abby on this piece. So my job is choreographer, but in that project we are like mostly with Daniel, like co-writer or something like this. But it's a project we start like 5 years ago, so the relationship we have changed a little bit with time after time. So voilà who I am.
I think I told everything about me, so no, I just kidding. I don't know. My name is Sajad. They called me Daniel. It's been 5 years I living in France. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you start the project artistic in 2019. My first project it was with Strix, so that's why we know each other from 2019 until right now. So.
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Abi et je suis musicien, je suis guitariste depuis 13 ans. Et aujourd'hui, c'était la 12e fois que j'étais avec Daniel et Cédric dans ce projet. Voilà, c'est tout.
So, good evening everyone, my name is Abi. I'm a musician and tonight it's, on this project it's the second time that I'm working with Daniel and Cédric.
Merci.
So that was it for the starting, and I really would like to add a lot about who you two are, but I didn't talk with you two, so I have to improvise about who you are. And I'm not going to do that. So let's skip to the next question. And maybe the first question that I usually try to ask everyone is to kind of connect it with the piece. So we stick about the artwork that we saw and then develop and go into the biographies of people. I would like to talk about how you guys met and worked with each other and what was this connections. I don't know to whom I should direct this question first, so whoever wants to start to answer the question, take it.
So I met Daniel in 2019 in Rennes. So an association called Danse à tous les étages asked me to do a project with what we call in France mineur isolé, which means isolated minor, something like this. And in the middle of the project, Daniel arrived. And he didn't speak French at this moment. And we do this project. It was like 3-month project. We see each other maybe twice a week. Yeah, we were like 15 people from different countries. And at the end of this project, Daniel and another guy, an Afghan guy, they asked me to continue to dance with me. But at this moment, Daniel lived in Rennes and I was living in Nantes, which is quite far. So we are thinking for 1 year. So what we can do together. And after 1 year, I proposed to Daniel and to the other guy, his name is Zubair, to make a piece together. And I think the beginning of this, it's a reading I have with Simone Weil, which is a like French philosopher, and she write a book with the translation should be routine, prelude for human rights. Yeah, prelude for human rights, and she says something like, "You grow up where you are," and this is the point, like the beginning of the piece. So the idea was to propose to Daniel and Zubair to be on stage and to introduce themselves and to talk about what they want to do. What?
That's right.
Yes, but then maybe we can continue on the same question about how do you work with each other? Like, what is the dynamics that you have with each other? How do you initiate ideas and like develop? Because like you two know each other for longer a little bit. I mean, probably 2020. You said that you got to know each other first. 2019. So it is a collaboration that's going on off and on, because you also say it in the piece that you skip cities to do different things. So I don't know how is the connection, but like I would like to know more also about your connections with each other and how, because at some point you would also need to talk about your background and what were you doing before 2019. How was the connection with theater for you? So pick one of these questions and continue.
Okay. No, to work together, like we asked theater to come 1 week, and at the end of the week we proposed to do a meeting with an audience and to present what we did for the weeks. And I arrived with 3 questions. One was about past, so just tell a memory, and one about the present, what are you doing, and the last one was about the future, what you want to do. So we just improvise about these 3 questions, and then all of it is like the dance, Afghan dance, or Afghan music. It's not really from the processes of the piece, but mostly what we are doing outside. So live together and eat together and talk together, and then Daniel like talk about Ahmadiyya and say, okay, let's do it Ahmadiyya, and okay, what do you dance? Okay, we can dance this, and that's it. And the only rules we had together and is that they have to be agree, so they can say no if I propose something they don't want to do.
But maybe I can directly ask a question at you, and like let's start really with this. What's your connection and background, and what brought you to theater, or what? Like let's talk about before 2019 and come forth.
Before 2019, I never worked with some project because I didn't know how they work, how they prepare that one. So it was the first time I worked with Cédric and I did dance. So that's why I said to me, like, I always liked to do it, but I didn't have this opportunity in my country. So when I said also in my text, before I didn't think if I can't if I can't being an actor, but here is possible because here I see the opportunities, but not in my country. So it was difficult, but after 2019 we tried to work more and more and practice to work together and make there's something different. We did our first project in 2019, but after we went to talked about what's my story, why I will do it, and what's my dreams, where I'm come from. It was a lot of questions, and we tried to pick up some sample questions and make it some documentary. And before that one, I never worked in this how we say that in this domain in this sector, yeah.
I mean, you're very present in the piece, not only on the stage, but also you're following kind of your stories. Maybe let's start about the staccato a bit. Why are you taking so many pauses in between? What was the point where you decided to make this, I don't know, few seconds of pause between each story? Is this coming from the fact that you want to help us picture things, or because there was a conscious decision at some point to make these breaks in between?
I think it was how say that? Même en français, j'arrive pas. Because yeah, I have English, Persian, French, so I confused. Ouais, tu peux répondre. Parce que non, j'ai compris. Le truc c'est que en fait le fait qu'on a dit le texte avec le silence, on a ajouté silence et aussi avec plus de temps et tout ça, c'est de mieux comprendre l'histoire et aussi que les gens, que les spectateurs ils voient une image de qu'est-ce qui s'est passé. Parce que je peux raconter mon histoire. C'est beaucoup.
No, it's okay. But I'm not a professional translator, so I try to do my best. The idea was to illustrate the story by doing this break, so that the public can have an image of what I'm telling. Mm-hmm. Yes. So that was the idea of making this pause.
C'est ça. Et c'était aussi parce que l'histoire, je le raconte, mais sauf que c'est que moi qui l'ai vécu et pas les autres. Et donc, c'était juste pour que les gens ils comprennent qu'est-ce qui se passait. Donc, juste donner une petite image. Et voilà, du coup, c'était aussi pour l'attirer l'attention. Enfin,
and so the idea was also to help the people to picture what happened, because I know my story, but yeah. So the idea is that the public can have an idea of the situation.
C'est un peu mon obsession. Le silence.
And silence is also my obsession.
Parce que je suis pas metteur en scène, je suis chorégraphe, et que depuis le début, ça a été aussi Daniel et Zoubaï racontent leur histoire, ils font tout, et où est-ce qu'elle est ma place exactement? Et ma place, elle a été plutôt sur l'idée de l'esthétique. Tu veux commencer par ça?
Yeah, because silence is very important to me. I'm not a theater director, I'm a choreographer, and I wanted to find my place and
to find the aesthetic of the piece.
And to find the aesthetic of the piece in.
So also when.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
When I just met Daniel and Zubaya, their French wasn't really good also. So we try to find the good word and the good rhythm to connect with people. How can we, with an easy simple, say a lot of things or be the most confident with people? And this silence is like ils sont faits pour accentuer, ils sont faits pour venir marquer justement et rendre plus fortes les petites phrases.
These silences are here to highlight the things that are said. They are there to put more intention on what is said, on the stories.
Thanks for translating also. Like it's last minute jumping on the stage and translating. I would not do that myself. So thank you. Also, like I like the vibe, despite it's very confusing for my neurodivergent brain to like work with these 4 languages and all not prepared for all this thing. But it kind of fits the piece because especially when you're singing, when you two are singing, we don't see any subtitles. So for the people who don't know the songs that you're singing, it's like absolutely no idea what you're singing. You're just singing something. Did you decide to not have translation for the song on demand, or what was it? Or was it too hard to translate it? This is also, was that rather technical issues or rather a conscious decision to not have it?
I did the translation, and Joshua helped me a lot at the end, fortunately. So I don't speak Farsi. But also when Abby came with this proposition of song, I didn't understand the song, and I just choose the song with them, and for the, I don't know, something like more emotional. So okay, this is working here, and this not here, but this is working here. So I think we can understand a little bit of this song, or we can feel something, even if we don't know the language. And that's my reaction to this song. So I did the same for you. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
I think the music, we don't need always to translate that one to people understand. I think there is something we need to feel it. So the music, if you feel good with that one, whatever is writing it, I think you feel good.
Yeah, sure. Also, like when you were talking about the Western dance, like Raqs Gharbi, or however was the correct term, for the scenes, you don't really need to understand the song because like the song is saying this angel-looking European woman, or like that's the thing. What's the sentence? Like دخترای غربی, like what? پریهای غرب؟
دخترکای غربی.
دخترکای
That's
غربی.
mean the girls of the north.
The West.
West,
yeah.
yes.
So like there is this sentence going on which I was like thinking about. Oh, weird, but it's the music, it's the dance vibe. So you just dance with it. But Sultan Qalbam, Sultan Qalbam, and what was this other? Like the 3 songs that you choose. I wrote it with Gole Sangam. These 3, like they have lots of history behind them, and there is like a connection point not only between different nations who speak the language, but also they play a key role. So what was the connection point to go after these 3 songs, or especially these 2? How did you choose that? And maybe this is more of a question for you as the musician. Why did you choose Gole Sangam and Sultan Qalbam? You need to translate if he speaks in French, unless you want to speak in Farsi and then I translate from Farsi to English. Which one would be easier for you? ترجیح میدی فارسی صحبت کنی ترجمه بشن یا میخوای فرانسه صحبت کنی؟
سوالتون این بود که چرا این آهنگا رو انتخاب کردید؟
Why did I do it to myself? Yes.
توی پروژه‌های قبلی سدریک و دنیل، آهنگایی که اجرا می‌کردن دنیل و دوست دیگه از احمد ظاهر بود. احمد ظاهر که یه آرتیست افغانستانیه که
من یادم میره این رو باید ترجمه بکنم. In the last projects that they did together, you use they used the songs of Ahmad Zahir, which is also the same artist that you were talking about in the piece, was introduced. Yeah.
بله. و توی پروژه هایی که من باشون بودم سعی کردیم که آهنگایی باشه که احمد ظاهر اجرا کرده و گفتیم خب هر 4 تا آهنگایی باشه که احمد ظاهر اجرا کرده.
Okay.
و اینکه خب سلطان قلب ها و آهنگ اولی و آهنگ سوم آهنگایی است که خیلی شنیدن، یعنی پاپولر از یعنی معروف هستش و فکر کردیم این خیلی حس خوبی به بیننده هامون منتقل میکنه که قبلا هم شنیدن این آهنگا رو و خب آهنگای احساسی هستن.
But and Jesus, and since they worked like they in the former projects, they also used the songs of Ahmad Zahir. They thought to pick up songs for this project that were all played by, sung by Ahmad Zahir before, and also that these two songs have like the songs that can have like good connections with the audience, so that it can be picked up by the audience. And speaking of that, by picked up by the audience, as I ran to the toilet, people in the toilet were singing Sultan Ghalba or no Gole Sangam, and it was like, oh, this is such an interesting earworm. So it does work. Like that was a good decision to pick it up. But maybe we talked about these two people, but let's stick here for a second. What's your background? What are you doing? How did you get connected with theater? Are you connected with Theater Realm? Is this your first project? What are you doing? What are you doing in my house?
Can I speak Persian? Of course. Okay. من موزیسینم و توی پاریس گروه خودم رو دارم. گروه موزیک دارم، معلم موسیقی هم و خب کنسرت های موسیقی برگزار میکنیم. و من و دانیل یه دوست مشترک داریم که دانیل از طریق اون با من معرفی شد و خب یه
اگه بخوام من جمله درست ترجمه کنم من برم پاس بده بگم چیزی که فهمیدم میگم فقط. You live in Paris, you do music, you teach music, and how long have you been in Paris? Like
half time.
So since 7 years he's living in Paris, and now you can talk about Daniel. Yes.
دانیل با من تماس گرفت و گفتش که پروژهش رو معرفی کرد و گفتش که ما شنیدیم که خودت موسیقی می‌نوازی، آیا مشتاق هستی شرکت کنی توی برنامه با ما، و برنامه‌ش رو معرفی کرد و من خیلی دوست داشتم که باش حتما همکاری کنم، چون دفعه اول من بود که توی سالن تئاتر قرار اجرا کنم و خب فکر کردم که خیلی قرار خوب باشه، تجربه خیلی خوبی باشه.
And then Daniel reached out to him and asked whether you want to be joined or you want to join their project. And yeah, you checked the piece out and thought that this is the first time that you're also performing in the theater. So you thought that it's going to be a very good experience. Was it a good experience? Did it turn out great?
تجربه خوبی بود. خیلی چیزا یاد گرفتم از سدریک، از دانیل، خیلی چیزا یاد گرفتم. برای اولین بار رقصیدم توی این پروژه. من هیچ وقت نرقصیدم، برای اولین بار رقصیدم.
Yeah, I should translate it probably. Like, yay, great. Yeah. So yes, it was a good experience, and it also for the first time he danced on a stage. But like on a stage or in your life? اولین بار رو صحنه بود که می‌رقصیدی یا تو زندگی؟
یه بار رقصیدم توی عروسی برادرم دیگه رقصیدم.
I just danced once in the wedding of my brother, but never afterwards. But you're a musician. Is it because you were playing, or چون داشتی موزیک میزدی نمیرقصیدی یا no, like you just don't dance?
تا الان امتحان نکرده بودم، نمیدونستم که علاقه دارم یا ندارم.
I never tried it so far. I didn't know if I'm interested or not. Like it's as if you're talking about drugs. Like I never tried poppers so far. So yeah, like I met Daniel and we did poppers. I mean, Judy Miguel got that. Yeah, I tried poppers recently. It was okay. Yeah, 20 seconds doesn't really feel. But yeah, I mean, it's like honestly, like with this whole all the languages that are going on in the room. I'm just shitting my pants. But maybe we switch there so I can just turn my brain off for a second. To whom are you talking? Because you talk a lot, you're making these breaks in between. Oh, Jesus Christ, I need to calm down. I was constantly like thinking to whom or for what perspective is this sentences written? Or when you put all these stories together, or like, how do you call it? The not artifacts, but slow pieces to put together to tell your stories. Whom did you imagine that is sitting in the audience room? To whom did you want to talk about it? Does that make sense?
Qu'est-ce que tu voulais raconter? Qui? Okay. I think this story is not just about me, it's about Afghanistan. Because I show the dance, how we dance in Afghanistan. It's not just my story. Actually, I told about my story, but I told also about what's going on in Afghanistan, how we're dancing, how is our culture. That was so quickly, but yeah, actually we have a lot of things to show, but it's a lot of things. But I just want to show that one. Even we was in a country, it was too difficult, but we have some things beautiful too. So that's why it was one of my message.
آیا هیچ موقع تو ذهنت بوده که من برای کی دارم این جمله رو میگم؟ یعنی آیا یک تماشاچی مورد نظری هست تو ذهنت یا نه؟ It's also maybe a stupid question. I just repeated what I said to be more accurate. Yeah.
My story, when I talk about that one, it was a message for me. It was a message. I talk with the public. I talk with me, and I just try to how is it that one? To live again my story. The guy is coming with a lot of goals, a lot of passions. So it was, yeah. But
I pick from what you said, some things, and I can deal with that. I want to also remind myself that I am not having my phone with me, so I don't know how many more minutes do we have. If someone tells me how long we can go further, these two people don't know. 5-10 minutes. Okay, then we open right now to the audience, so we can also pick questions from there. Is there? Yes, thank you. Please take the microphone from me, and please speak English. I can't do this anymore. Oh yes, Annika, it's you. Thank you.
Hello. I had 3 things. I don't know if I remember all of them. First, Cédric, a request to you. I would like to get to know also Abi now. So maybe a new piece. Introduce the next person on stage. Because, doesn't matter. It's because it's a duet. And I'm very curious who's the other person also after this piece. And then to Sajad or Daniel, I want to say there have been many things that you did not talk about. I'm also very interested about that. And I wanted to tell you that when you say that you want to become an actor, I find it interesting because as an actor, you slip into another role. You take another role. But now in this production, you were presenting yourself and your own story. And this I find very special, and I think also very difficult. I think that many artists might do that at the end of their career, trying to dig again and to find out who they are themselves after they took so many other roles. So I find it's very impressive and very mature also to step on stage in such a young age and at the beginning of your career, and presenting yourself and your own story. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much.
And the third thing, it was answered already a little bit. I also was curious about the songs, why the songs were chosen, if it was an artistic or maybe a personal choice. Especially because one song became so famous also outside of the Persian bubble, I would say, because it went viral.
Which song do you mean?
The Sultan.
Pour répondre à cette question, ça c'est la même question que j'avais répondu tout à l'heure.
No, the Sultan of the.
Yeah, so
No, I mean, Nika Shakarami went viral with.
فکر کردیم که این آهنگا هم شنیده شده است، هم آهنگای خیلی با احساسی. سعی کردیم که هر چقدر بتونیم با احساستر آهنگای با احساستر رو انتخاب کنیم. فکر کردیم که بهتره که بتونیم کنتکت خیلی راحت کنتکت برقرار کنیم با بینندمون.
So these songs have like we thought about choosing songs that have more emotions in them and have already the connection with the audience, and try to utilize, or it is my word, capitalize on that to build bridge with the audience. I sugarcoat it again. This is your microphone again.
میخوام یه چیزی اضافه کنم درباره اینا. When Abi came to our project, we didn't have a lot of time because we had just 1 month to prepare what we want to do with Abi, because he was new in our project. So we tried to choose the music that we can sing, and the people like the melody. I think that's so popular, and the people I think they feel it, because it's not something that person like, how to say that, nobody heard about that one. I think everyone in our countries actually they know it, but in Europe not too much. So that's why we tried to have a connection with them too, to show what we can present about this with this music, with these people. So that's why it was a little complicated to choose different music. We had a lot of music, but we couldn't choose all of them, and it was difficult. But we just tried which one was sampling. Easy.
I mean, yeah, there is a hand there. Somehow, I don't know, I think my glasses are just so dirty today, I don't see.
Hi, thank you very much for this performance. I have one comment and one question. The comment is, it made me very curious to know more about many things you touched in this piece that were like stayed a little bit on hold or were not answered, and it made me very curious, for example, about your family being in Iran. Why? What is their situation there? You don't have to answer it. No, it's just it raised many questions inside of me, and also the dances you danced. I was like, I want to know more. I want to know more about these dances, the music. So that was very interesting to see how many things erased in my head, question-wise. The question that I had is the name, actually. What is this issue with your name? Do your friends in your life call you Daniel as well? And why? Because it's not your name. Your name is Sajad, right? So I was wondering why they call you Daniel and how you feel about being called like that.
Okay. For a start, I was with my friends, and we just tried to play it with each other to say, I will choose this name for you, you choose one name for him, and it was a play just, and they said, we call you Daniel. I said, okay, because I like it. So okay, why not? And actually, that's my artist name. Everybody know me Daniel, but if you say Sajad, maybe someone I don't know him. But if you say Daniel, maybe okay, yeah, this guy from Afghanistan, he do the project, artist project, like something like that. So that's why that's my name, artist name. The people know me about with this name.
So it came out of a game you
Exactly.
played and it stayed.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
So you're still playing. So you're still in the game. هنوز تو اون بازیه.
Yeah, it was a good game. So
Stayed around. Yeah. Is there any other question
Keep
here
going.
since I'm here? Yes, there is one in front line. I must say it feels much more nice to sit there and watch you talk. Next time I would do that.
Hi, thank you for the performance. I have a question. Firstly, I would like to thank you for sharing your very personal story, especially at the time you told us about your travel to Iran and going to the airport and visited your family. Actually, for me, it was really touching. I could see myself. And the other one, and the question is, how did you come to the idea to bring this kind of attendance, atan, on the stage? How did you come to this idea? And you, the question, and how was your perception on this kind of dance? It's a kind of folk dance. Now we have it on the stage here in Germany or other countries. Yeah, how was your idea?
I was just curious. And I asked them, what do you dance in Afghanistan? And they say, we have atan, and we just try. And it was easy to perform. I think that...
Easy for whom?
Well, almost. No, because for at the beginning, the project name is Daniel and Zobail. Zobail stopped the project for 1 year, so that's why I became. And Zobail loved Atan, and he wanted to put it on the stage and to share Atan with French people, because most of the time we just playing in France, because it was important to show another aspect of Afghan culture, and I think it was really sensitive to him and really important. That's why we put it on stage. And sometime we ask at the end of the show to the audience to come with us, and we try to dance Atan together. And I agree with Annika, that we want to continue and to know more about Abby. But the thing is, we just have 2-day work, like in March, and we do the premiere with Abby, and we didn't see each other for 2 months, and now we are here, and we have 1-day rehearsal yesterday. But I'm really agree.
So we need to come to it. Like we don't need to. We are at the end right now. But since you mentioned Zubair, did the songs also change in the piece after the person dropped out, or that was totally a different piece? Just so that I.
Only one song.
Okay, and what song was that?
It was not Sultan Qalpa. It was Paydo Shode. پیدا شد و پیدا شد گم گشته ما امشب میچرخم و میرقصم با باد صبا امشب. Actually, he played the tabla, and so that's why it was easy with that one. But before we just one song, and now we have just four.
Yeah, so it's growing. So hopefully next time we see a concert of you in a workshop in Tanzpol 2025, if before you get cancelled. And because I would be the culture senator and then I would kick all the Iranians out because they can be anti-Semitic possibly. Yeah. Anyhow, that being said, I'm very happy that you guys were here and we could talk and we could understand each other possibly, hopefully. There's always room for misunderstanding. And this was the most talkative dance piece ever that Tanzpol ever had in it, probably. Let's see. This record can be broken next year in the next editions. I'm just really pushing you to just apply again for the funding so these people can live. That being said, thank you a lot for being here. Thank you for translating. Thank you, Felix, for translating. And this is the last artist talk that we had, right? There is no other. Yeah, this is the last artist talk of Tanzpol. But Tanzpol continues tomorrow. No, the day after. No, is it tomorrow? Yeah, the day after tomorrow. There is the piece called Keeping Up with the Iranians in Sufinsele by Afrang and Co. And please come by. And then the day after, there is the panel discussions that we will have in Ufe Studio again, which will be from the perspective of the institutions and the artists that are working in exile. It would be super cool to see you all there. And until we meet again, ciao.